Hey guys, welcome. So this video is going to cover a few lighting options that I've come across, something that I've been running the past year and something I'm about to upgrade to. I'm going to talk about some low beams, some fog light options, and these are for my 99 Gen 2. Could probably apply for Gen 1, maybe Gen 3, but we'll see. So thanks for watching. So let's get into it. So when I first got the car, I came with halogen lows, halogen fogs. Off the bat, off the forums, I was recommended the Auxbeam LED F15 low beams, a step up from maybe a cheap Amazon bulb, and the Auxito LEDs. The Auxito and the fogs are pretty much useless, in my opinion, and the F15, I would say better than the halogen. They have a nice color to them, tolerable at night, but this was maybe a $30, $40 bulb, and the upgrade, this is, I believe, $200, $220 for the pair. So we're gonna see. I'm excited to see the difference. Later on in the video, I'll go over two fog light options. They have the XB LED that have been around for about 5-6 years now. These are for a Gen 3, but with some brackets, they should fit the Gen 2. These are the new Morimoto 4Banger HXBs. Again, we'll go over them. These supposedly have twice the lumens of these. So I'm real excited. So we'll save that for the second half. So let's take a look. So right off the bat, my fogs are a little misaligned. I've had trouble aligning them. I think the adjustments were broken, so I'm real excited to upgrade them. This is with the Auxito lights, the LED bulbs. Here's the low beams, give you an idea. And then as far as color, there we go. Don't mind the mess in the garage. So color looks good, but nighttime driving is the key. So let's pop in the old ones to compare. So hood down. There we go. Halogen versus Auxbeam. A typical 90s color, a little nostalgic. You can get an idea. So to compare, these are what were on the car. These are halogen Sylvania 9005 low beams. These are what was recommended to me, the Auxbeam LED F15. You can see they have a fan, the chips, and then these are the GTR Lighting Ultra 2 LEDs. And I'll include the lumens as well on each one. Right off the bat, this is obviously feels more high quality, feels beefier, and but yeah, let's see what it looks like. So here we go, GTR time. Woo! Look at that. Already the throw is better. Seems more intense. The color is almost pure white. Trying to lower the. There you go. Still a nice kind of 6500 from above. If anything, it looks a little bit more white rather than bluish. Maybe that's just the color. Maybe they're equal. But yeah, a noticeable improvement. But we'll see. Take some video on the road before and after. Well, not so great news here. As you know, the Viper headlight has a sealed backing here, which basically covers everything. You can see the fan there on the GTR Ultra 2, the low beam, kind of sticks out. So while I can get the first bolt on, the second one here kind of sticks out. Now I can get it a little closer, but then that sticks out. So, I mean, if you really finagle it, you could probably shut it all the way and seal it, but with how hot it gets and the fan running, I don't know if there'll be enough circulation. You can see where it is, where it's touching. So, gotta try something else. Long story short, GTR Ultra 2, not good for Gen 2 low beam. Maybe the high beam, but we're gonna pass on these. Talk to the seller, they're gonna exchange them for the Ultra 3s. Looking online, it says the Ultra 3s fixed the issue. They are a little bit smaller, a little bit newer, more lumens, so should be better overall. Probably get here in a week, so we'll continue the video then. But another change is these are 6,000 Kelvin as far as the brightness, so kind of a white, maybe slightly bluish. The the Ultra 3s are 5750, so slightly whiter, yellower. I'll show a photo here shortly. Anyway, moving on, going to the fogs. So I got the brackets. These are the Gen 3 brackets, again going off the forums. Quick note here, the part number on the part itself is different than what's on the bag, but it's the correct one, so don't let that confuse you. The Gen 3 brackets, these are about 90 bucks a pop if you can find them. Some people can't, but on eBay and Mopar sites, 90 bucks a pop, so about 200 shipped. So let's see, we got everything off here. We got, unfortunately, turning the wheel didn't give us that much clearance, so we had to take the wheel off. Here we go. This pops out, and then, so it looks like 1, 2, 3 bolts. There's the adjustment, which I struggled with. Maybe I'll figure it out when it's out. Everything's pretty easy access. So I saw some people take off the bumper, but also some people do it with the bumper on. So let's give it a go. As I said, these are the XB LEDs. According to Morimoto, these are 1200 lumens each. Gives it a nice kind of full in the fog light space. These are the HXB 4-bangers. They come in a cheaper version. These are more expensive, more lumens. These are 3000 lumens. 1200, 3000 each. So more than double, should be much brighter. These are more of an off-road light, but these are DOT approved. So I'm not sure how they'll look. Now they do come, Morimoto shipped also these surrounds, so apparently these attached to the brackets. We'll give it a go and see what happens here. We have taken out the fog light. There it is, and there's 3 bolts here. 1, 2, 3. I started with these are a waste of time. Don't waste your time on those. So 3 bolts, they're out. This is the cord. The new one is in. And what we did was we needed some male H10 connectors. These Morimotos come with female H10. So we got a male H10, splice that in. Black is black, color is color. And got it in, 3 bolts. There is a slight gap you can see from behind. Now, the Gen 3 Viper brackets essentially popped off. If you recall, there's 3 bolts. So here are the 3 bolts, same locations. You just pop these pop right into there. So here they are popped in. And then on the back here, you have a little screw. You put into here, just like there, and that gives you the levelization that you'll need. So, let's see how they look. There's the OEMs, and here are the Morimotos. Nice, shiny, dark, kind of matches the low beams. And let's see what they look like. Now they're not leveled, but gives you an idea what they'll look like. Now one more thing here, I mentioned there's a slight gap, so you can see just how in these are. A bit of a gap, but nothing really, certainly nothing I can put my finger into. Right here, just a little bit more. Call it airflow, ACR style. Some people put a rubber ABS plastic behind it. Right now we're just test fitting. Another thing, this probably would have been easier with the bumper off. I like problems and learning from my own mistakes, so let's handle the other side. The good thing is the screw is on the bottom, so just reaching in underneath, that's how we can level them. We don't have to go through all this again. Here's the Morimoto HBX 4-bangers. And it fills in the gap about the same as the XB LED. And then the XB LED, darker but shiny, reminiscent of the headlamps. So here's a bit of a flashback. The driver's side has the original fog light OEM with the cheap bulb, and the passenger is the XB LED. So you can see clearly the passenger side has a better cutoff, more intensity. Now let's throw in the HXBs. Here we go, moment of truth. Both are leveled. Here are the fogs. XB LED on the right. And the 4-bangers on the left. You can see both have a good cutoff. The 4-bangers have definitely twice as much light, if not 3 times. 1200 lumens there, 3000. Strictly night. So there we go. I have to say, taking off the bumper and doing it this way is a lot easier. So, word to the wise. It's only a few clips up here to worry about. And then about 8 bolts on each side, maybe 10 bolts. So a lot easier than taking off the wheel and going back through the fog light cover and shoving everything back there. This is way easier access. So finally back to the low beams. Ultra 3s are here. They're a little bit smaller, newer technology. Kelvin rating is a little bit different. I'll put that in the below. So moment of truth. How do we look? I've been running about a minute. Ultra 3s are on the driver's side, left. And the Auxbeam are on the right. So you can see the color is slightly less blue. And coming around the front, more of a white. Alright guys, here's a lume tester, pretty basic off Amazon. Shows you the max, the minimum, and so on. This test isn't going to be exact because I think the sellers measure at about 25 feet, but should still give us some actual numbers to test. So, starting with the low beam Sylvania 9005. We got max 3216, 3200. Going to the LED max upgrade, the GTR Ultra 3. We've got max 1035, but as you can see there's a times 10, so it's actually 10,350. So 10,000 versus 3,200, over 3 times brighter. Now going down below to the fogs, we got the XB LED. The maximum 4431, 4,431. And then the brightest HXB LED, 4-bangers. $1,489, but again there's a times 10 that pops up, so 14,890. So yeah, quite bright. Quick pit stop here. From the start, I was not sold on the 4Banger HXB aesthetics. I felt like it looked a little bit too off-road and cheapened the car, so I played around with some ideas as far as how to minimize that. I initially painted the surrounding black portion body-colored silver, which off the bat looked pretty terrible. Then I looked at tinting the light itself to make it less contrast and to have an almost hidden fog light, kind of like an ACR fog light delete style. That ended up blocking way too much light, as you can see here. These are just XB LEDs as is. These I added some smoked headlight tint from a company named Light Wrap Lux. So let's see what we got. Also in the passenger side, I threw in the Auxbeam LED that I've been running the past year. So if you remember, the Sylvania halogens were 3,200. So these are max 4,300. So an upgrade, nicer color, you know, more blue, but not as bright as, of course, these. These were getting 9,000, 10,000, 1051. So 10,510 is what we're getting. As a comparison again, the XB LEDs, max 4,600. And the 4Banger HXBs with the smoked tint, 5,000. So, blocks a lot of light. 5,000, certainly not even close to 14,000. So the tint's gotta go. And you can actually see it from the pattern. Let's peel this thing off. You can see exactly how much brighter it gets. Oh, you don't even need the lux meter for that. So there you go. If you're considering smoked headlight tint wrap, you should probably not. So this is night footage with low beams and fog lights having the cheap Amazon LEDs. Kind of the before setup. So they are a little misaligned, but you can see already the driver's is facing down and the fog sprays light all over the place. No cutoff on the fog, nothing. Let's see if I can lower them. So a mid adjustment here. These are just the low beams. These are the fogs. So to give you an idea, let's block this. So here's just the passenger side fog. You can see where the cutoff is, how low it is, and then here's adding the 4Banger. Now obviously it's a little higher, but it almost completely overtakes BMW. So I've just connected the 4Banger HXB, so here's just the XB LED. Here we have the previous Auxbeam LEDs versus the GTR LEDs. On the dash camera it's difficult to see the differences, but on my first drive I did notice an improvement. The light tends to travel a little further, and with it being less blue, should be helpful in rainy weather. There's also a lifetime warranty. That being said, at the end of the day, it's a $250 bulb versus $40. I can't say that it's a 4 to 5 times more improvement. Fog light time. XBs are on the left and the 4Bangers are on the right. Right off the bat you can see that the 4Bangers have 2 to 3 times more light, so definitely a case of you get what you pay for. That being said, they both still have good cutoffs, so you're not flashing anybody. Honestly, the 4Bangers are bright enough they don't even have to use the low beams. Both have a wide angle so they shine light into the ditches or wildlife on the side of the road. I do wish the XBs were brighter, but still a solid upgrade. I think they would be noticeably brighter if I hadn't upgraded my low beams as well. So, final thoughts. The headlights are rare and expensive, so after rebuilding them last year, I was not willing to risk them with a projector upgrade. I figured a combination of upgrading the low beams and the fog lights would do the trick. As much as I wanted to, I just didn't love the 4Banger HXB fogs. Definitely a ton of light for the money and a solid product. I also appreciate that they come in a yellow option, and I think they're even brighter than the SS3 Pros I have on my GX460. I just really felt the plastic surround portion cheapened the car and did not look good to me. The GTR Ultra 3.0s are a great upgrade, although the price could be more competitive. It's tough to see in the footage, but I do feel that they are better at night, and the lumens prove it. For the money and the look though, the Auxbeams are hard to beat. I ended up keeping the XB LED fogs. While a little outdated in lighting technology, I do feel that they modernize the car and offer a good amount of light. Honestly, I think if I had not upgraded the low beams at all, there would have been a more visible improvement. And at the end of the day, I'm not paid or sponsored for any of these products. I was just hoping to add some more information for both the Viper community and those searching for other platforms. If you're still watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope this helped.